Hey, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Unlocking Excellence with your main man, Eric Schwefel. I hope that you're having a great day so far today. And if this is your first time listening, welcome. I'm glad that you stumbled upon the podcast. This is where we give some tips, some tricks, and definitely the keys to unlocking excellence in your own life. The last couple of episodes, so what we've been doing is going over Florence Scovel Shinn's The Game of Life. I ended up coming across this outline that gives the key points to this such information, knowledge, wisdom dense book. It's freaking incredible, right? So, we're going to go over chapter 9 today. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, I would highly encourage you to go back and listen to episode 1. If you're listening to the series, right, solely the series, go to series episode chapter 1 and then start there, because man, is this some great stuff, right? And you're going to want to know it builds on each other. So you're going to want to hit up chapter 1 for sure. So are you ready? It's time to dive into Florence Scovel Shinn's The Game of Life, chapter 9, Perfect Self-Expression, or the Divine Design. All right. So number one, wait, before we get into it, what this is an outline of a wonderful book, right? So I'm going to be reading this outline word for word. If you'd like the outline, I can send a link to you that will bring you to that. And the other thing that I'm going to be doing is commenting on this, right? So from my years of coaching, from what I have an idea of, I'm not going to say that I know, but what I have an idea of. And if it works, works. If it doesn't, great, don't use it, right? Okay, without further ado, chapter 9, Perfect Self-Expression or the Divine Design. Okay, number 1, there is a perfect idea held in divine mind of each man's perfect self-expression. Man's highest demand is to see the design of his life. Because manifestation comes from our images, we must first see this design before we can manifest it. This perfect plan brings perfect happiness, the square of life, health, wealth, love, and perfect self-expression. Perfect self-expression will never be labor, but more like play. And God is and will give the supply needed for your self-expression. Many a genius has struggled for years with a problem of supply, when his spoken word and faith would have released his supply quickly. So a lot of times, right, we struggle with what it is that we need, what it is that we want. But when we act in accordance with God, when we act in accordance with universal law, with divine mind, then what we can do is all we have to do is perfectly express ourselves. And when we do that, divine mind then backs us up, right? One should never visualize or force a mental picture of the divine design for himself. And parents should not force their ideas for their children's lives on them. Parents should speak their word early in their child's life or prenatally for the perfect self-expression to manifest. The Bible and the Tao Te Ching, hopefully pronounced that right. God's will be done, not man's. God's perfect pattern, not man's. The Bible is about the science of the mind, how to release the soul, the subconscious mind from bondage. Speak your word to realize and accept that you are a perfect channel for infinite mind to express itself. See, that's a big thing to accept in and of itself, right? I'm not going to lie, I'm still working on this all myself. I'm human. I'm learning these principles, or I guess remembering these principles, right? And how they can apply, because for so long, right, some of these things may have felt foreign. And I know for me, they have felt foreign, in the sense of they weren't the top priority. And you think because you have problems, you can't do anything about them. But here, through this series, what we're starting to see and what's being told to us, and we're learning, and it's sinking deep into our subconscious, is that you speak your word to realize and accept that you're a perfect channel for the infinite mind to express itself. right? Like that's huge, huge, huge. Many a genius have struggled for years with a problem of supply, and was when his spoken word and faith would have released his supply quickly. Isn't that wild? Right? It's starting to hit. Whenever you have a deep breath in like that, I always believe like you're packing your knowledge that you had with spirit, with the breath, and it's sinking in more. It's like, man, that hit, that was good. Okay, number 3, the third point, affirmation for students. Ooh, that's us. I am one with the infinite intelligence. I know everything I should know about this subject. Ooh, okay. So I am one with infinite intelligence. I know everything I should know about this subject. Don't speak your word just for the things that are difficult for you. Don't rely on your ego, but on God in all ways, even in the things that you think you're good at. When you think you no longer need divine assistance, that you can handle matters perfectly well on your own, that's when everything will go wrong. Speak your word just for things that are difficult for you, not just for things. Ugh. Don't speak your word just for the things that are difficult for you. Don't rely on your ego, but on God in all ways, even in the things you think you are good at. When you think you no longer need divine assistance, that you can handle matters perfectly well on your own, that's when everything will go wrong. Practice the presence of God every minute of every day. How? Figure it out. You can do it. Rely not on your own abilities. Resist not God the good in any way at any time. There was a time where like I I'm still working on my receiving but there was a time where I was really not good at it, you know. People would offer help and no, I got it. I don't need any help, and very independent, right? And the thing was is I didn't need the help, right? Like help would have made, I guess, the process easier in different senses, like in throughout life, but it wasn't ever something that one I couldn't handle on my own. And I'm sure for you, it can be the same. There are tons of times where there are situations where support and help would have been great. And the person more than likely would have known everything that they needed to do. It's not like you had to explain to them everything. Like, so it would have been a chore to actually have somebody come and help you. Um, but where you said no to that, right? And there was so why not receive the help if it's there and somebody's willing? Why not give them that gift, right? Here's the thing, asking that question, why this, that just puts us kind of in a corner, right? Asking why to people automatically positions them as a victim. Why did you do this, right? Why was this done? Why was that done? Why was that done? And so, especially if tone and intensity with tone is given, then one can conclude that why is not the best way to ask somebody a question. And you can then even say like, what caused that, or what ended up happening. So why'd you do, you know, like, so bringing it back here, a lot of times what we end up doing is we end up not accepting the help or the support that is sent to us. So it relies upon us to accept and receive. And receiving, people feel, is a weakness in some sense. Not everybody, not everybody. And the reason is because then that means that I am having somebody else help me. It's not on me. It's not the badge of honor. And having that badge of honor means what to who? It means something to you maybe, but you know, when you tell somebody else, ooh, you know, like, but what I've come to find too is that we're all just trying to impress each other with different stories and different things that we've done or other people have done. And we're always trying to build our ego up. And it's like, well, what if we didn't even have an ego? What if the ego What if you got rid of it? I mean, don't get me wrong, sometimes it's great to be there. That's probably the ego talking. You need it, right? But there are times where you don't have to identify with it, and it doesn't have to be like your identity, your source. God's your source. Poise is power. Number 4, poise is power. This should be the student's goal. It gives divine power the chance to rush through a man. Don't be disturbed by anger, fear, worry, and other disturbing emotions. Sin in metaphysics, whatsoever is not of faith is sin. Ooh! We prove our faith by walking right up to the thing that we fear. Ooh! Ooh! Hit me in the heart, do it again. Wow, that was nuts. Oh, do it again. Yes. Sin in metaphysics, whatever is not of faith is sin. We prove our faith by walking right up to the thing we fear. Ooh, what do? We face it. We face it, motherfucker. We look at that fear, we say, fuck you. And if it is still standing there, right? All you got to do is look within. You got a whole kingdom within you. All you got to do is look left, look right, tell them to look behind them. There's a whole legion of angels that are right there. You don't think the King of Kings got your back, the King of the universe? Especially when we're talking about here, your creator. You don't think your creator has your back? Come on. Come on. Is there anything to fear then? Really? If you're walking and living in spirit? Come on. Right? I remember hearing that fear one time meant face everything and rise. And there was a time I was playing with the acronym, like, how can I make this for myself? And I was thinking like, fuck everything and run, but then like, fuck everything and resist. But you don't want to resist, right? You want to face it. You want to face it. So I have to find another R word there. All right. Number 5, belief in incompletion delays demonstration. Know and affirm in divine mind there is only one completion. Therefore, my demonstration is completed. My perfect work, my perfect home, my perfect health. Okay, that was a lot in one. Belief in incomplete delays demonstration. Belief in incompletion delays demonstration. Know and affirm. In divine mind, this is what to affirm. In divine mind, there is only completion. Therefore, my demonstration is completed. My perfect work, my perfect home, my perfect health. Whatsoever he demands are perfect ideas already in divine mind. So they must manifest when he speaks his word. Okay. So also give thanks and make active preparation for receiving the invisible in the visible. What I really like to do now in prayer, for a long time, I came in prayer at the wrong place. I would, and sometimes I still do, like, help me do this, or please, I would ask God for things. And I've realized through different learnings, different books, different teachings, not only is the kingdom within, so I'm not trying to send things without, outside of me. I've learned also to pray with gratitude. So thank you for this thing happening. I'm so grateful this happened. God, because this happens, this happened then too. So like, thank you so much for the strength that you sent me to deal with this circumstance. Because I had the strength in this circumstance, I was able to do XYZ, which led me to connecting with this person. And that made me feel really great. Okay, so now we are already grateful, and we're lining up what the future is going to look like, and we're grateful for it, right? Even though it hasn't happened in the visible yet, you are then imprinting on the subconscious and then speaking to God too of what you are grateful for. Now, if it happens, great. If it doesn't, great, because divine mind has a plan in store for us. However, in order to influence the quantum realm, right, to influence the unseen, the non-physical, we can use gratitude to keep us in the highest frequency. Number 6, suppose you suspect you have many talents. Demand infinite spirit to show you right here and know what talent you are to express. Ooh, this is good. Answer, I am fully equipped for the divine plan of my life, and you will discover all the talents you need. Okay, so number 6. Suppose that you suspect you have many talents, like many of us do. Demand infinite spirit to show you right here and know what talent you are to express. I am fully equipped for the divine plan of my life, and you will discover all of the talents you need. The Lord, number 7, the Lord loveth a cheerful receiver as well as a cheerful giver. Give without thought of return. But if a return comes to you, receive it. It violates law to refuse it. All gifts are from God. Ooh, say it again for people in the back. Give without a thought of return, but if a return comes to you, receive it. It violates law to refuse it. All gifts are from God. Birth and death, next one. Birth and death, sickness, lack, discord, disease, dis-ease. All the wages of sin, the sin of being in two powers. How could we die if we believed in only one power, only in one life? I love you. You're unstoppable. I'm glad that you're here and you're listening to this. You are doing fantastic. Listen to it once, listen to it twice. Let me know if you want the outline. And then if you would please share this bad boy out and let other people know. All right. I'll talk to you later. Have a great one. You're unstoppable. Peace.